At this time, I'd like to ask if Mr. Stephen O'Neill is present. Mr. O'Neill is not present. Mr. Brown is present, though, isn't he? So what we're going to do is read Mr. Brown's bio and ask him to join us so that we can honor him in the way befitting his contributions to our community. John Brown is a Springfield native. After graduating from Westfield State University, he received his master's degree in criminal justice and administration from American International College. He has worked at the Hampden County Sheriff's Department for 24 years, working his way up from line correctional officer to assistant deputy superintendent. John is very active in the community and a former AAU and high school athletic coach. John Brown. Without ado, I would ask John Brown to join us here and share a few of your words.
Good evening. I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank the Stone Soul Committee, Jay Griffin, Sheriff Ash, who was my previous boss, and now Sheriff Cochee. Sheriff Cochee is the one who nominated me for this award tonight, this prestigious award, and I'm honored and I'm humbled to be selected and to be standing up in front of you tonight. I think I have an important job, and my job here is to make sure that we can get correctional staff that look like us to work inside the jail, to give our young black women, men, Latino men, ladies, another opportunity to see that they can do better. And I think the more that we get out there, and my job is, every time I look at a hire or we get a correctional academy class, I make sure and I battle with the sheriffs every time to make sure we get at least 50% of the people that look like us that walk across that podium and that accept that diploma and graduate. Because how we can affect change is by getting people like us to live in our communities that get up and go to work, put on that uniform, and so our young daughters and sons can see us put on that uniform, pressed and going to work, and the community can see us coming back home, taking pride in our home and our yard, our house, cutting our grass, making sure things are up to date. It says a lot. And I want to also say, again, I've been there for 24 years. Again, as I start off as a CO, and I'm an assistant deputy superintendent in our HR department. Another big responsibility that I have is these young people come in, we hire summer jobs. We hire about 70 kids from our community, kids that are enrolled in school. And it's important to keep these young people off the streets so to get them jobs. As we know, there's not that many summer jobs that are out there. So as many of these kids come back home from school, if they go to local community colleges, they go away to school, my job is to make sure that there's opportunities and there's work for them. And not just work for them, but meaningful work. Meaningful work because these young students are going to be 19, 20, 21. And let's face it, our population in jail is roughly about their same age. So if we get these young people, and they can see these young people coming home from college, and now they're working with them, hopefully these young people that are in jail realize they made a mistake, they can get out, they can turn their lives around, and they can get back on track. Also what I do, we talked about Corey. Obviously our community is stricken with a lot of people with some type of criminal record. It is my job also to evaluate a criminal record and make a presentation to the sheriff on why we should overlook that criminal record to give that person that opportunity for that job. Now again, you just don't get it because of you're black or you're Spanish. You have to have a proven track record. Now, if you have a criminal record and if you went out and you have demonstrated that you have done better for yourself, either went on to school or held some type of employment without getting back in trouble again, I'm going to battle for you. Because again, if people can see you from our communities, knowing that you had a criminal record, and now you're going back inside to counsel and mentor the young people that are going to know that they have a chance here at Hampden County. Again, Sheriff Ash, he saw something in me. Again, I've been up there now, I've been with 24 years. I've been up in the HR department for 20 years. He saw something in me because I didn't have no political connections. I didn't know anybody. I was a young kid, right out of Springfield. I went to Commerce. I was lucky to get a job there, and at the opportunity, what I did and how I got myself in that position when I was going to school for my master's degree. As a CO, we have 4 on, 2 off. So you work 4 days, you have 2 days off. How I got myself up into the HR department, on my 2 days off, I volunteered to go up into the HR department. So what they saw is they saw a young man who was working 6 days a week. And once there was an opportunity in that department, I applied for the job. I went through an interview process, and I believe that's what got me over the hurdle, is that volunteering, that commitment. The 2 days that I came in on my day off took me away from my family, but I knew in the long run it was going to benefit my family. And I must say, to this day, my family and I are doing pretty well. Without further ado, again, I just want to thank Jay Griffin and just tell you a little quick story on Jay Griffin. Jay Griffin was best friends with, obviously, with Sheriff Ash and our public information person, Rich McCarthy, who's since retired. About 7 years ago, when the Stone Soul Parade was going on, I was visiting a college out in Stony Brook in New York with my daughter. And Sheriff Ash calls me. He says, "John, what are you doing?" I said, "Sheriff, I'm at a college, visiting college with my daughter." He says, "Well," and this is July. This is July now. He says, "John, I need you to get our department. I need you to get some people to volunteer, and I need a contingency from the Sheriff's Department to march in the Stone Soul Parade." I said, "Sheriff, you're talking about a month away. People are on vacations. It's in August. It's going to be tough." He said, "John, I know that you can do it." I pulled it off. I called one of my buddies, Chief Lou Ware, who's there. I called Lieutenant James Brown, who's also from other community. I said, "Listen, guys, we need to get out there, and we need to get the people that look like us to get out there and march. Because it's important to see people driving our cruisers, our vehicles, when we're riding down Capitol Street and down State Street, and you got all the families and the little kids out on the side of the street, and they're waving, but they see people that look like us in those vehicles. It's going to mean a lot. It means a lot to these young kids. It also means a lot to the community." So, on the end note, I've been coordinating the Stone Soul Parade for Hampden County Sheriff's Department now for the last 8 years, and we're going to continue it. And I just want to thank the committee for nominating me, and Jay Griffin. He's doing a tremendous job. Thank you.
Right, another round of applause.